Knockem Dead Comedy.
Telling all your friends the party never ends. Knockem Dead, Knockem Dead Comedy Show.
We are having so much fun, and we know you're going to love our next guest. His name is Tony Walker, and he is a comedy guy. Comedy cures everything. So.
Absolutely. I had cancer at the age of 32, and I do believe that the laughter and the positive attitude got me through it just as much as the medications did, which led to the comedy troupe that I run called Knockem Dead Comedy. We do dinner theater, murder mysteries, game shows, kid shows. You know, we're not stand-up or anything like that, just comedy shows, variety shows.
You go to restaurants and where else? Like theaters?
Restaurants, private parties, corporate events, fundraisers. Did I say fundraisers?
Fundraisers, firehouse.
Comedy shows, they're murder mysteries, they're audience participation. It's a scripted show because, you know, there's clues and hints that have to go out, but it's not a don't blink or you'll miss something. It's not Agatha Christie. You know,
Right.
it's a comedy, it's lighthearted, but one of the characters does get killed,
Right.
and then the audience has to figure out who did it and why. And if it's a private party or a corporate event, we personalize it to fit, you know, their event.
Now, do you ask the audience for help with the mysteries? Or
Yeah, they solve it.
All by themselves?
Based on what they saw during the show, we even give them a little section where they can interrogate the suspects.
Oh, that's
and,
fun.
You know, so we'll deflect, deny, point fingers at other characters, but everybody makes the rounds throughout the whole room and
Okay.
talks to people.
The show is guaranteed. It's 100% guaranteed fun.
Totally.
Everywhere we go,
always.
everybody loves that show.
The audience just get so involved, and there's just such a part of the show, and that makes it even better.
Other things that you do aside
Yeah,
from
we
mystery.
do game shows. Oh, the game show, we have a podium with lights and buzzers and sounds, and it's basically
Like
a
a
trivia
Family
game
Feud.
show, or it could
Right.
be, you know, again, we ad-lib with that too. So they may want a trivia game show, but if we show up and they're a loud, boisterous group and they're a lot of fun, we could ask them to do funny physical challenges or do some karaoke or whatever, or name that tune, whatever we feel like doing,
Oh,
and they'll be willing to do. We'll
cool.
take it there.
What movie introduced the phrase, "There's no crying in baseball"?
What letter comes after A? Yes, there you go. Go ahead. B is correct!
Is there a favorite skit that you do that just still cracks you up every time you do it?
We do a lot of audience participation murder mystery shows, comedic murder mystery shows. And there's two shows. We have a mob show. We're in New York. You have to have the mob shows. And we have a redneck wedding, which is just
Oh, that I have
it's
to
a
come
lot
see
of
that
fun.
one.
You're welcome
Yeah!
anytime. Anytime. In fact, I even
Well,
brought
growing
you a
up in
shirt.
St. Louis, Missouri, I have to say, you did?
Oh, of course I did. That you will wear
Hey!
everywhere you go. In fact, I have a whole bunch there. I'm giving one out to everybody.
Everywhere I go. Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Oh,
we
that's
call it.
great.
Can I
Knockem Dead
pretend I'm
Comedy.
drinking something here?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pretend like
Thanks,
you're drinking something.
I'm having fun on the set.
You know, we actually do put water in it when guests ask.
Just
we
not
do. But
this
if you
guest,
if you don't ask ahead of time, wait. This one's full of water. You ready? One, two,
Nice.
three. All right, there you go.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do that for now.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead Radio Show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Thursday. It is December 22nd. It's almost Christmas. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club podcast. The studio on our Twitch channel. Thanks for joining us on the Twitch channel. Please like and share the show all over the place, and follow us on Twitch and help us get our numbers up, so we can pay people like Marla Schultz for coming in. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be nice? So Marla is here. Thank you for coming in, Marla. It's so good to see you, as always.
Always a pleasure.
And then, of course, let's see. I want to get the right camera. And over there, sitting far away, Laura Patton. What is she doing? What are you doing over there? What's going on here?
She's going through her Let's Make a Deal bag.
Do you have an IUD?
What are you?
I'm just trying to organize my cough drops. All right, go ahead.
Organize your... That's a lot of cough drops.
I know. Just don't you have to...
All right, I'll just talk to Marla then.
Yeah, just talk to Marla. I'll be with you tomorrow. Talk amongst yourselves.
All right, so a couple of things before we even went on the air. So first off, I've been told that Eric Haft is handsome.
He is handsome.
Very handsome.
Very handsome. A comedy 10.
A comedy? Well, yeah. See, but that's not really going by much. A comedy 10.
No, and if he was taller, he's like a real guy, 8.5.
I know, but what's his competition in comedy? Roach? I mean, come on.
Oh, Chris Roach, I love.
Well, yeah, but
he's so handsome. Because
he's handsome.
Yeah, he's got.
Really?
Oh my God, I think he's such a package. He's got an amazing. He's got an amazing personality, and that makes him uber attractive. Yeah.
And he has a full head of hair.
Hey, come on now.
No, but you shave it nice.
As a 5'10" girl, I'm a big fan of the tall fellas.
And he drives at night.
He's a night driver.
Who?
That's
Roach?
Yeah, not like he drives a car, but it's a stupid joke. When you do all the Florida condos, they're like, oh, are you single? Oh, he drives at night. Okay, and all the women go nuts, all the widows and the single ladies, and they're like, who drives at night? And it's usually, Seth Goldstein.
No, I think Modi is handsome too.
Modi's very handsome.
He's a comedy 10.
Yes.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Modi's mad at me.
Why?
Because I had him on here on the show once through Zoom, and I was able to hear him just fine, but apparently the audio was not getting out. The people at home or wherever they're watching, they couldn't hear him. So I didn't know until afterwards. So I let him know. So I'm really sorry, and he has not talked to me since.
Really?
Oh, get over it, Modi. Stop being so. I know. I love Modi.
People do that. I guess they can do that.
Can I tell you one thing about Eric Haft? My mother would always say, because I have a brother and a sister, and she goes, for a Jewish family, no nose job, no braces. That was her thing. And Eric,
big.
Yeah, huge. And Eric looks like he follows suit.
How do you know that's not the result of a nose job and braces?
I don't. I'm just assuming the good.
Right. So you can't go back and look at childhood pictures of him then, because it'll ruin this image you have of him.
I just think he's a handsome guy.
Laura, he's got a good smile.
Yeah. He
Comedy
flosses.
10.
It looks like he flosses.
Looks like he doesn't have a bridge. Those are his teeth.
Yes.
Definitely, teeth are big.
And he doesn't have like the darkened he's been
the snaggle, or he's been
hit in the puck because he plays hot dogs. I mean hockey. He plays hot dogs. Oops.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different story.
A different comedian.
Right.
Jeff Bosey says Tim Saliani is his guy. Do you guys know Tim?
Oh, just saw Tim. Very handsome, very tall. Big goatee. He's youngish. He's on the youngish side, so I try not to.
Is he?
I would put him.
How old he is.
I'd put him at 40, but I could be wrong.
No, you know what? I believe you're right. I believe he is early 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very handsome.
Oh,
who I still hold a candle to is Gary Valentine.
Really?
Oh my gosh, he and I and Joey Cola, we were all in acting with Joanna Bexon back in the 90s, and Gary was slimmer, gorgeous face, and he would talk to me, and I felt like I was looking at the sun, and I'd be like, ugh, like I couldn't talk. I also think he's funny AF, but yeah.
Yes, he is. He's great.
I don't know him, Gary.
Gary, he's Kevin James's brother. He's funny.
Oh,
funny.
yes.
Very funny guy. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Here Comes the Boom. So
that I don't know, but he also wears that newsy hat a lot. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He seems to wear a cap.
My friends call it a skiddly-doo.
That's funny.
Skiddly Doo.
Where's Skiddly Doo?
That's very funny.
And
Weird,
he was nice enough to come in here once. He's a good guy.
He looks short though.
Like I'm tall?
Well, to me,
he's my perfect height. You
He's
know,
no
he's
Tim,
he's my
Shalhoub.
guy. If there's two guys that my husband would give me a pass for. I haven't told him about Gary Valentine, and who knows if Gary Valentine would be into me. But I was like starstruck, and he wasn't a star back then. He was just a really good comedian. But anyway, thought he was like I had I would.
Who's your other one? Who's your other cheat?
You know what?
The cashier at Rite Aid?
Cashier at
No,
Rite Aid. No, that's yours.
I have to give that. That is a Ray Allen joke. I have to give it. He goes, I don't know why people make these hard. That's a very
Cashier?
thing. He goes, him and his girlfriend, like, she's like, oh, George Clooney. He goes, mine's like the checker at the Walgreens. It's very funny. It's a funny joke. Credit to Aruba Ray.
Okay, you know what? As they say, comedy is very subjective.
So who's the other one?
That is fun.
Okay, I like Chris Pine from Star Trek.
Oh, sure.
Wait, there's a couple of others.
All the Chris's together, just one person. The Hollingsworth, the brother. There's a lot of Chris's.
Oh, God, they look like they could just pick you up and throw you against the wall and have their way, which is, I was really into Andrew Cuomo. I thought he was a badass ginzo.
Yeah.
I did. I was too.
He was a rock star for a while
was.
there during COVID. He screwed it up, but he was a rock star for a while.
Those fucking
And I was
Democrats.
so intrigued by the nipple piercing.
Who had a nipple piercing?
Andrew Cuomo.
Cuomo, yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. See,
both of them. Yeah.
When he wore his...
Chris Cuomo, too, yes.
Oh, the brother.
Chris
There you go.
Little.
Chris's, yeah.
He's all right.
I met him at, we were
he's no
standing on the
Anderson
line.
Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. We were on the TSA line. We were both at LaGuardia, and I was hopping, taking my boots off. That's when you had to take the boots off, and I'm one-legged, I'm hopping. He goes, wow, you're really limber. And I was like, yeah, so are you. Anyway, we got into a conversation, and I told him I was, a big fan. I worked in the news business, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so we were chatting for a bit.
Notice.
I'm more of a Jake Tapper, John King kind of gal.
Okay. They're good.
John King, Eric Heft, similar look. There you go.
Well,
Silver Fox.
Heft himself will say he gets Anderson Cooper a lot.
I can
Really?
See that.
Yeah.
More John King probably.
I know somebody who I don't know might remain nameless, whose celebrity crush is you.
What?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I've been stepping the streets with this young lady, and the comedy fellas have been, Marla, you look great.
Yeah.
Marla, you were so hot back in the day. We all wanted to do you.
We mean back in the day. She's hot now.
I know, but they've all been drooling over her.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, because I just ran into somebody else, and we were at the Christmas party, and like a couple of old, like really like the disgusting ones, like I don't want to, but they were grabbing me, and I was like,
grabbing you?
Yeah,
They were like, I gotta take a picture.
Anyway, I said to a couple of them, how come you didn't tell me? Why was I going out with like these losers? I would have, why? How come they don't tell you? But it made me feel really good because I just, coming out of a hard time, and I was very flattered.
I think you got a Marlo Thomas vibe / Monica Lewinsky thing with the good hair.
Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky.
She looks
All the
great
time.
lately.
Yeah,
Really?
she's,
I haven't seen her.
No,
Really?
no, no.
Good.
Yeah.
Where
She's
is
gorgeous.
she?
She has
That
rich girl hair too.
But where would
She's good
she?
hair.
Is she on TV or something? Like where would people see her now?
She did a TED Talk that was phenom.
Yeah, about
As I hang around with
bullying.
Marla, phenom, Expo.
Wow.
She's on the Twitter.
She is, and she's like a anti-bullying mental health advocate, which I'm really into. So let's,
okay.
I'll
Oh,
show
I
you
didn't know
a
that.
picture of her once I get off of. Anyway, but it was nice, and for the first time, like a couple of guys were like, "Oh my God, you got so thin," and I was like, "I wasn't that heavy." And
You're never heavy since I've known you, but I have noticed a weight loss.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm on this Fakakta diet. It's like, do you settle for the weight loss? But if you have gas, you're scared. I walk around, I'm like, oh God, I hope I didn't drop a nut. You know what I'm saying?
You're not dropping a nut. You'd know.
Oh yeah, no.
You don't look
I
like
would
a
know.
nut dropper. You'd know.
I would definitely notice. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a picture of
The
Monica
Nut Droppers,
Lewinsky.
were they a girl group in the 50s?
The Nut Droppers,
think
yes,
so.
yes, they had a lot of hits. Yeah.
I know.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think Andy.
Wait, are you kidding?
Was their
Is there
roadie.
really a Nut Droppers group? Am I missing something?
I believe we're joking. I think.
Yeah,
I know I
do.
was. Yeah.
On a comedy podcast.
This one.
This section
Oh,
brought to you by the Nudge.
Andy Pagano says, funny comics and lovely ladies.
Oh, look at Andy. We miss him. Sending my love to Andy.
Here,
Hi,
would-
Andy.
Would you like to hold on to this
No,
today?
no, I'm okay. He
You
does
sure?
look like the Good Burger dad, though, in that picture. Are you Andy? The role of Andy will be played by Marla.
You have to punch out the eyes.
Well,
so I
yeah,
can see.
you're right. That was my Halloween mask, so
Was
you're
it
right.
really?
I have to punch out the eyes. Yeah.
Did you wear it around like an old school Dream of Genie mask? Like, remember those?
Yeah, like the rubber band.
Yeah.
The bad plastic
I
outfits.
know, that's...
I once looked on ZocDoc for a new gynecologist, and this face popped up,
It was
and I was
Candide?
I was like, yeah.
No, that does not have the face of someone that should touch a snatch.
Okay,
That
look
is
at her.
not-
Well, all right. Yeah, she looks okay.
She looks good. 54?
Is she that old? Really?
No,
Wow.
I thought she was,
No,
you know.
my age.
Oh.
I put her at my age.
Okay, here's a really
What do
good
we
one.
say?
Here's a good one. You know, it's really funny. Back in the 90s, when she first came into prominence, we
Yes.
were both chubby, and we both had, like, you know, the bangs.
And you wore beret?
I did. I had a red beret. Like, we kept on, you know, we've had very parallel, you know, we're both chubby at the same time. We
Did you
lose
blow
at
a
the same
president?
time. Can I tell you, I met Bill Clinton. He shook my hand, and I was like, this guy, his sexual energy
Oh,
was
I would have blown him.
insane.
Oh, no, she was born in 73.
Yeah.
I would have definitely blown him.
Yeah, he had a swagger.
Oh my God! He shook my hand, and I felt the charge. I met him in a
Really?
bookstore in Venice, California, and I was like, I would have definitely.
You would have let him finger blast you in the stacks?
I would have let him have my way, his way for sure.
What about
Finger blast in the stacks. That was a group in the 90s.
You know what? I remember that. It was like, pow, pow, I'm going to hit your snow. But can I tell you a funny story about thinking I was Monica Lewinsky? So I
Yeah.
lived on the Upper West Side, and I was walking into this bodega. New York Post photographers, because I did have the red beret on, followed me in, like harassing me. And the two guys, Mahmoud, they were like, Mahmoud, look, it's the girl that blew the president. And I was
Come
like,
on.
swear. Yeah, a couple of times I was like almost like harassed by New York Post photographers.
Wow.
So
You
that was
were walking
really
around
cool.
with a cigar in your bits. That was, they were like, Marla.
Ding, ding,
come on.
ding.
Like, Marla, you're drawing attention to yourself. Stop
Wow.
masturbating with a blunt.
True. Stop masturbating. Yeah, I was like in the corner like a homeless person.
Grinding like a Dremel. Just hitting
Grinding,
it.
yes.
Hitting it hard.
Yes. Rubbing one out on the subway. I actually saw two homeless people. I walked to the end when I was working a day job, and I heard, "Ugh," and of course you got to look. And there's like these two homeless
They
people.
were fucking?
Yes.
Nice.
Are we allowed to say the F-bomb?
Yes.
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 Okay.
This part brought to you by... No.
They were really? Was
Oh
it?
my God, it was disgusting. It was disgusting.
So
And
there
look,
was an article back in the Daily News, but pre-internet, when you had to like call, like if you wanted. So there was a like a color reporter, like you know, like Pete Hamill. This guy's name was Ellis Hennigan. Did you know that?
Oh
name?
yeah.
Phenomenal article writer. So there was a story. Two people were banging in between, like uptown, downtown, in the section. And someone got clipped and lost a leg.
I remember.
It was a big story.
Oh, yeah.
I must be related to that person.
Oh, was that how you lost your leg?
Yes.
Holy shit, Tony! I knew we'd get this story.
That's
I thought it was
funny.
a phone company accident. No, so they were banging, and then I was at work, and this was like 92 or so, and I was like, look, normal people are not banging. They were clearly homeless.
Yeah.
But the article did not allude to them being of no home. So I tracked down Ellis Hennigan, called him.
Of course you did.
Called him. Maybe at the News or the Post, wherever he was working, maybe New York Newsday. And I got him, and he's like, I don't want to say they were homeless, but they couldn't provide an address. So you use your
God, he
judgment.
was woke. He was woke back
I
then.
know. He
That's
said they were
really
housing
cool.
insecure. He said that 30 years ago.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Imagine that's how Tony lost his leg, and we just went full circle.
Well, and then Marla also mentioned the one leg when she met Cuomo and all that stuff. Yeah, so it's like there's like the theme going on here.
Yeah, everything has to be brought. This section brought to you by Pete
That's
Stuyvesant.
funny.
We're just gonna make Pete Stuyvesant jokes all day.
I don't even know who that is.
What?
Pete Stuyvesant?
Peter Stuyvesant was the Dutch settler that came over and bought a Manhattan from the Indian for trinkets, and he had a peg leg. He only had one leg.
That I didn't know. And that's who they named Stuyvesant Town after.
Correct.
Right. Yes.
I knew it was Dutch settlers. It was like back in the 1600s. You know where
Yes.
they landed in Gravesend, Brooklyn.
Yes. And the whole big thing, how people came here for religious freedom, that is not true of New York. That's your Puritan in New England. They came here for money. So there was not a church in New York, New Amsterdam, for about 11 years.
Now that I didn't know.
See?
Wow.
See what you learn?
Yeah, it's
Can I
like a
tell
history
you?
lesson.
I got a lot
and-
of fun facts.
This one,
Yeah.
we met doing a gig here, Annie
Yup.
LaPuma, give her, and we met. And it was just like this instant connection. Then we went out to the diner.
Yup, up the street.
Yeah, I was like, do you want to split a brownie sundae and grilled cheese? She's like, I love brownie sundaes and grilled cheese. We were there till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And my husband was like, where are you?
Same thing. Actually, he was like, when are you coming home? But we had so much in common. We have parallel lives,
Yes.
the same experiences. We were dressed the same as kids. We both had
Oh my God, we went through.
Easter
If I sat and showed you like old childhood pictures, like the game is Marla or Laura, and then
Really?
yeah. We all had the
Wow.
Dorothy Hamill that went awry, and then he
Yes.
tried to grow it out and for a couple years off, and he had the wings.
Oh, Dorothy
it
Hamill was
brutal.
hot though.
She was. She
Was
was.
she?
Oh my goodness,
No,
she was
was
beautiful.
really beautiful.
I don't think she
Yeah.
had titties though.
Yes, she did. Titties? Women don't say titties.
Oh, this woman says titties.
Do you really? Ugh.
What am I gonna say?
Titties.
I bet you,
boobs.
ask Andy. Andy probably says titties.
I'm sure. Yeah.
What about
I'm-
Jeff Bossy? No, he doesn't. He doesn't strike me as a tea guy. Saying
Did I say titty?
I can't.
I
can't.
think. Well, Bosie, I think is a pee-pee guy.
Oh yeah.
He's a caca pee pee doo doo. He's one of those guys.
I know, I'm
Eyebrow
joking.
comedy.
No, Bosie says titties. Sure. What? I'm
Titties
not.
is harmless.
Yeah. What's wrong with saying
What are you
titties?
gonna
I'm
say, breast?
confused.
Her
I
breast.
say boobs. I don't know, but for me to say titties, it's like me saying moist. It's
Oh,
that word.
moist and
See?
damp are gross.
They are.
Damp. Dude.
Damp is gross.
It is. But I think moist. I can't even. If I was reading the back of a Betty Crocker, cake mix, and it was like moist cake, I was like, no, I gotta get a different one.
I know, it's like a damp grandma. And you're like, oh, I can't live.
Damn grandma.
Grandma.
What?
That's.
I wouldn't put my shoes under his bed. This is what we do all day, Marla.
This is great.
All day,
yeah,
every
I could
day.
I could just sit back and listen to this all day.
Do you remember?
No.
No,
Okay.
it's a drug.
This one networks like
Yes.
nobody's
Oh, I know.
business.
I know it.
She does.
She's good.
It's like it's incredible.
Yep.
And I am so grateful to this one. Like love, like
And
a
vice
sister.
versa.
Like it's
Are you guys going to announce your engagement? Is that what's
Pretty
going
soon.
on?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
yes.
scissoring will begin. We will be
Yes, hi.
scissoring.
And we're going to be doing a show called The Pink Tacos.
Yes.
The Pink Tacos.
Brought to you by Fleshlight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Depends.
Yes. And vaginal mesh.
Yes. And let's not forget the estradiol for dryness.
And
Are you like a
pelvic.
desert in there? Does it sound like you're?
You could put a suppository in there.
Yeah.
You put these eggs in there
Yeah.
to get ready for them. But then you got to plan ahead.
And we're both neutered.
Yeah, neutered.
Neutered.
Yeah.
You're both neutered.
I'm without ovaries, so I'm available. And I wanted to put the emphasis on the over as opposed to saying ovaries for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm just going to do that. Just going to put
Ovaries.
emphasis on different parts of the word.
Yeah. No, we're both neutered. I don't got the mesh though. I'm
I got the
hoping
mesh.
it all stays.
And then
up.
I got a class action suit for the mesh. $50K for my vaginal mesh.
$50K, but you get what?
Like
50 cents?
$31K.
It's still some found money.
And
Sure.
I had no complications. Somebody just goes into the hospital and steals the lot of like the Boston Scientific thing and called me, and I was like, no harm, no foul.
Wow.
But what was kind of fun, well, this is part of my jokes that I'm trying to figure out where it's going to get there someday. But I had the first surgery, and they go, not everyone, like, they don't know. They put the mesh, the shortest version, they put the mesh in, and then they close the skin over it. But sometimes they don't always close the skin on it, and you won't know if the mesh is exposed until your husband takes a spin, right? So we had to wait till his birthday, and he took a spin, and he got hit with a cheese grater in my fits. So we had to go back to the hospital. I had to go back and get a revision surgery. So when I was in the hospital, they should have wrote revised thing. You know how you have to write down, like, remove leg, whatever. When they write down what your surgery is, they wrote foreign object in vagina. I was stopping everyone. They're wheeling me to the operating room. I'm holding on the door. I go, I do not have a Barbie doll in my bits.
I was thinking a foreign, what about, was it a migrant?
Oh, you were thinking like
coming over the border?
Cousin Laddie?
Yes.
Oh, my wife. Oh. ICE came to the hospital. They were like, we're here for the foreign objects.
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
Are you harboring a fugitive and illegal?
No, está aquí in her vagina.
DACA. Hello.
I do have some dreamers in my machine.
That's it.
I got the dreamers. They're DACA.
DACA. Okay.
Not to be confused with Chaka.
Chaka.
Chaka Khan?
No, true. Not to be confused with Chaka Khan. Chaka is from Land of the Lost. Remember Chaka?
Oh, yes.
Remember the Sleece Stacks?
Will? Was there Will?
Will and the girl. I can't remember the girl's Penny. But Chaka was a little Chaka.
Yes. And there was a funky alien kind of thing.
Yes, that
swamp
was
guy.
Well, I think they were the Sleece Stacks. And this this section brought to you by the part of my brain. This is a problem.
It's
like
not
when people
a problem,
ask, like,
it's an
who
asset.
was Droop Along?
Cassidy.
No, the one Ricochet Rabbit and Droop Along, like that type of, and Mushmouth. Like, I remember such stupid.
And Muttley.
Oh yes, Muttley, and that was Catch That Pigeon. All terrible.
Oh my gosh.
And all those PSAs. Remember the PSAs in the middle?
Schoolhouse Rock.
So this week, they
Conjunction,
made an
junction.
announcement.
What's your function?
Hooking up words.
I've been working on words and phrases and closes.
I'm just a Bill, a lonely old Bill.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. So they were in the news this week. The last guy that wrote them just died.
Oh, wow.
And they were saying, so I was, do you remember Interplanet Janet? She's a galaxy gal.
Yes.
And then your nervous system. There's a telegraph line. I got yours and you got mine. Do you know that one?
I don't remember a lot.
Yeah, and then, so I like the PSAs besides those, the ones that were like, remember trying to encourage kids to eat cheese?
That I remember.
A hanker for a hunker. A slice of chunker.
I think I just remember the Indian on the side of the road crying.
Yeah, but he didn't have a song. If he would have had a song, it probably would have.
And it turned out he was not an Indian.
Correct. That
Right.
I know too.
Right.
He was not.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I would know that, but
He
I
was
do.
from France.
Stop.
That I don't know. But he was not Indian.
Was he a foreign
maybe
object?
Maybe he was the foreign object in my
In your hoo-ha.
And the tear made it nice and damp.
The tear. Or moist.
Who's
Who's
calling in?
Put your headset on.
No,
it's
don't
not
worry
a
about
real
it. I'm not.
phone?
No, I'm not taking it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Are we
No,
supposed to have these?
No, we're not
If a
taking it.
phone call comes in, but even still, you could probably still hear it. But I only have mine on because my microphone's attached.
Got it.
And it covers that he has no hair.
Yeah, because you guys don't like that.
I know, apparently. You
I need
know
to get
Eric Havd.
Yeah, I need to get a
How
half
funny is
hair.
that if we come in next time and he's got this like wavy Eric Havd piece? He's like, why, hello,
He should market
Marla.
that. The half hair. He should definitely market that.
That's funny. I was doing a cruise. This is my ADD brain. So I was doing a cruise and I was doing the late night show and it was packed. It was on Carnival, which is a disgusting line. And all of a sudden this guy yells
This
out.
section brought to you by Carnival.
Yeah, I heard that joke before and the spotlight was beaming down on him. And I looked at him and I go, when you go see Wayne Newton and he sings Dankeschön, are you going to shout out saying, I heard that song? I go, let me tell you. I go, sir, do I come to your job and knock the dick out of your mouth.
Nice!
Yeah. The audience goes nuts. And I go, hang on a second. It was like this gleam. He was wearing
Yeah.
a hairpiece. And I go, did you pay money for that thing? You know, there's a barber shop up on the Lido deck. We can also get the captain to do a burial at sea. Did you really pay money for that shit? The guy got up, walked out.
Nice.
Everybody went nuts. But that's a classic heckle line. Do I come to your place of employment and knock the dick out of your mouth?
I
It's the
think
best
I
one.
heard it. Maybe like the young comedian special, and they had said, "Do I go to your job and mess with the salad bar, like that?" Like
Yeah,
I think
it's
it
the
was
same
like the
premise.
same thing. Like, do I go to
Right.
your job and
But that was a
scrub the
great
toilets?
moment.
Knock the dick out of your mouth.
Yep.
That's a
I
good
like
one.
it. Speaking of
Knocking dicks.
of traveling on a boat, you're traveling soon. How's that for a segue?
Oh.
Can I tell you? All right, my mom died, and last year I wanted to go see the Northern Lights. It's like on my bucket list. We wanted to go to Norway.
Is that Aurora Borealis?
Yes, and
was
but
for
then the
Andy.
second variant, and we didn't want to get caught over there, so we found this place in Alaska, and we're going in February, and it's going to be effing cold, and I'm really excited. But then I see JJ Ramirez at the Strip, and he goes, "Oh, you're going to Alaska? Lots of people disappear from there." And I was like, "What? Exactly." Did you know that there's a Bermuda Triangle and there's also the Alaskan Triangle?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and it's like this triangle between, it's like Anchorage, Fairbanks, and Juneau. So it's like this thing.
Those are the only cities I know of in Alaska.
Exactly. But there's also, the cruise lines.
Disappeared how? Like your boat goes missing?
All of a sudden they just disappear. Plane crashes, no wreckage. People are like, they're travelers or they're natives and they're Alaskans. Boom, they just disappear. This girl went out to dinner with a friend. She decided to go back out. Boom, they disappear. So I was watching, it freaks me out, that occult, supernatural. It's almost like it harks back to The Exorcist. Like I couldn't even watch the movie or touch the book because there was that weird little picture of the devil on it. Okay, I digress. So I'm on YouTube last night and I'm watching, and all of a sudden it was like, don't go to Alaska, 16,000 people unaccounted for. So I'm watching it, and all of a sudden they start talking about the Kushada people, and they're natives, and the Kushada means land otter man, and they're shapeshifters. Now, I believe in that shit. And basically, it says, if you're in a town or you're in a village or you're hunting or you're fishing and like a man or a group appears and they seem really friendly, don't go with them. You should have a dog with you because they scare off the weird little spirits. And then there's also this vortex, in Sedona.
Yeah.
They have like this weird energy. You're supposed to go and feel like the earth move under your feet, like Carole King sings about. Anyway, it says the Kushada will lure you into and call you out as a group, and they sound like children or women. And so I'm like, my husband is dying to go here. I don't know. I'm just really freaked out because all of a sudden, that's where we're going. We're flying over the triangle. And he's been playing a lot of TSO, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they have that chilling, impending doom. And he plays it over and over again. And he's been asking me, do you know how to get out of a car if it goes into a ditch? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Maybe he's a closet Kushada.
I think so. I think he's a land otter man, doubling as a Jewish
I only know
lawyer.
Kushada as honey balls, strufala. The kuchadada is the cookie we'll be making with my sister.
Cookies.
A fig cookie is a kuchadada.
You know what? Then that gives me comfort because I am an emotional eater, and I will, eat my feelings.
I can't
But
believe
isn't that
nobody's
wild?
planning trips to a vortex. Did you primary source that shit? Come on, stop.
You know what? That's what Mark says. He goes,
Stop it.
you're a lot smarter than this. Why do you believe the first
That's
thing?
like QAnon shit. Come on.
Okay, but, speaking of vortexes, I'm going to Tucson. I'm working New Year's Eve at Canyon Ranch.
Casually mentioned she's better than me, but go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
listen,
CMBT.
I have been doing it for 29 years.
No, that's fine. You're allowed to have a gig in Tucson.
And I'm not hitting you that I'm better than you. I just am more experienced. And Laura, I always say you jump in the shark.
No,
you
no,
really
you're very nice
jump in
about
the
it.
shark. And I am not a cunty twatty girl. I really encourage other female comedians.
She
You know,
does.
I
see
really
it.
that's my thing. Maybe I've been too nice. Maybe I'm not. Whatever. We're going to, after Tucson, we're going to Sedona, and there's vortexes there too. So I think something's
I hope
going
you
on.
didn't leave a deposit for Alaska, because if you're not going to make it out of Sedona, you'll never get to.
Oh, we got the insurance. My husband we are insured up. Like if I get a hangnail and I can't type, I'm insured. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, but somebody's got to take my dog if something happens.
I'll take Teddy. Teddy's a good dog.
Teddy's awesome. I
That's
was
a
going
good
to
dog.
bring her.
Yeah, I thought you were bringing her.
Oh, next time I'll bring her. She was just,
You're like the Janice Massetti of Long Island.
No, I'm not. I love Janice. Props to Janice. She just opened up for Jeff Ross.
Yeah, she
Kudos
Oh,
to
did
her.
she? Oh,
yeah, she
wow.
Caroline's?
slayed on Sunday at Caroline's.
Did you see her?
Yeah.
You went?
No, I was with you. We were Comic Strip Live. It was the same time. I had a Lady or the Tiger moment. I didn't know what to do.
So you didn't see her?
I didn't see her. I saw her post and Christy and Gina and all that.
They said she slayed. That's
She was great.
fantastic.
Maddie
Awesome.
Smith was on the show. And then she had a really big mic the other night. A lot of people were in town.
Was it Mario on the show too?
I think Mario just showed up dressed like an elf.
Shocker.
Yeah, he
Right.
showed up like an elf at Broadway's party too.
No, I saw him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Broadway, okay, a former owner of the brokerage.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember him?
I didn't know him personally, but I know who I think I know who you're talking about.
Okay. I see Laura, and she's doing her like magic, and she's also talking to a booker who had a cane and a monocle, and he does a lot
It
of.
was Mr. Peanut.
Yes, it was Mr. Peanut. And he speaks with an English accent. And, I don't want to mention anything by names, but he was
Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut. And did you notice the English accent?
No.
You didn't? He didn't have a Long Island accent, right?
It was not Long Island. It was not.
It was something else. It was like a mishmash of mid-Atlantic.
I
What's that
thought he
about?
might have been the Ghost of Christmas Past, so I didn't want to
There you go.
I didn't
There
want
you
to
go.
rattle his
Right.
cage.
So I see her, and she's all sparkly, and she's doing her, she's doing her
Chatting.
thing, chatting. And I see him, and he gives me this look. Now, dudes, when you hook up with dudes and you run into them in the future, and they always, give you this,
Sup?
yeah, what's up? Like knowing nod, like no matter what we had something, and it's like, they remember. So I see this guy, this
So
former
like, I saw
owner.
your bush.
Say that again.
I saw your bush look.
Not him.
No,
It was
but
very
that's the
select
look.
few.
No,
yes.
the hookup thing. I don't think it's that select. But anyway, it's, I don't know. Your list seems long, sister.
Wait,
I'm just saying. Your list seems. I saw your bush. Okay, go ahead.
She's
Mr.
like
Peanut.
talking to him, and he gives not Mr. Peanut. I didn't even acknowledge him. I was putting on my coat, and he comes up behind me, and he's like, "Please let me help."
What?
Yeah, helping me put my coat on. But the other former
Oh, Mr.
owner-
Monopoly?
Yes.
Yeah, they were
yes.
both there.
Okay, we have 3 nicknames for him. It's like, let's just stick with Mr. Peanut, because my ADD, I'm going, Monopoly, pass go, here's $200. So,
Did you put money into free parking? Just curious.
yeah, I did.
You
I
did?
always do.
Did you, Tony?
Sure.
No,
I
did
parked
you?
on the side of Dairy Barn.
Yeah.
That's not free parking. I'm saying
That's
free
not?
parking. No, we're talking about Monopoly. Whenever you're like one.
Did you know she was talking about fucking Monopoly?
I wasn't sure, which is why I
Pass go,
paused on my answer. Yeah.
$200. You brought up free parking. You brought up when you pass go $200. You brought up Monopoly, and then I asked when you play. Sometimes people you're like, oh, have to pay. Oh, I just.
That was Olga. What
I
the?
know. I didn't mean to do it. No, sometimes I do it too. I admit. Oh, sorry, Olga.
But
no, so
that's your voice. You've always done.
I have done it for a while. I'm always like, and then I do my husband's voice, like, what are you talking about? And then people meet him, they're like, he doesn't sound like that. I'm like, but you don't understand. That's why I hear it. No, so the Monopoly game, when you would like win Beauty Queen, $10, but when you had to like pay a fine, instead of giving the money to the bank, you would put it under free parking. So when you landed on free parking,
You
go
got
to
it.
jail, you got the money.
Right.
But I think those were prison rules.
That's funny. That's funny.
I played cards with prison rules. I went to rehab, as I digress, and we were playing cards with guys like, we'll be playing with prison rules. I was like, nice.
What are prison rules?
I don't know, but I loved it. I loved it. Anything that has I love like seedy, different.
So do I.
We're using prison rules. I was like, nice.
Like conjugal visits.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Some guys like, you here for pills? He goes, you know, you got to lick the time release off. I'm like,
Hey, you got a Newport? You got a Newport? I like that cold, cool menthol.
Lucky Strikes, no filter. What do you got?
Some gangster ass shit.
Was that just your attempt at shooting sideways?
Yeah.
It's this or this?
No, you turn. Oh, I don't know. I
I'm
guess you
doing
turn
this.
it. You turn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're not into guns. I did shoot an AR-15 when I was down in North Carolina hanging out with the Vietnam vets.
Really? What was that like?
Yes.
First time ever shooting a gun?
First time I hit a bullseye. I could have been a sharp shooter, is what they said. Pow.
Wow,
Yeah.
Marla, American Sniper. Who knew?
Fuck yeah. I got to tell you, I don't believe in having those kind of things, but I mean, there's definitely a thrill when you shoot that thing.
Yeah. I've done the skeet shooting a few times. That was a lot of fun.
Pull.
Yeah, that's exactly
I would
it.
do that with the plates.
Yeah, that is cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I was hitting a cow. You know what? My makeup is all over this white blouse. I
Oh,
walked
you can
in.
never do that.
I know.
It's tough. That's why I can't wear it. Did you put a scarf on your?
No, I didn't think it would hit my neck. I don't have makeup on my neck.
It was gonna hit your neck.
So I was driving, and I was like, I took the alcohol, and I was like, this is like that travel material.
Let's make. Oh, there's invention. When you get dressed, it's like a whiplash collar, but narrow that you put on to absorb that layer of make. Well, are you using setting spray?
No.
Ugh.
Okay, can I tell
We'll
you
take
this
it
one?
offline.
I was like, oh my God, I wore something and I got something at Bloomingdale's and all of a sudden it wasn't fitting anymore. And she goes, gotta get a gun. I go, what kind of gun? I don't want a gun. She's like, the tag gun. So you can wear it, take the tag off and
then
put
put it back on.
Yeah, but then I forgot, was it under the arm? Was it under the neck?
So I called my cousin who worked in the store and said, hey, where do you usually put the thing? And they said it's, willy-nilly, depends on the designer. But so now you get the gun, you just put the tag back on. You can wear it for weeks, put it back on.
Wow, that's a good
Mommy
scheme
hack.
right there.
Yeah. So then you have like this phenomenal wardrobe and you don't have to, because you get photographed in something. And did you just pick your teeth?
No, I sprayed my organic honey. But
Okay.
I'm not above picking my teeth.
I was just like,
Listen, for someone that was masturbating in the corner of a bodega, I think you really should not be fucking slinging hash at me, but whatever. Whatever, Monica. Whatever. Draw attention to my sore throat.
Oh no!
Continue.
And what about we both have allergies, and so she's over, and all of a sudden I'm like,
You do that like,
itching the back of your
itchy
throat,
throat.
and she's like, oh my God, I do that too, and
You're
I'm
like-
like, get out!
when you're like, my
You're just
husband
like-
hates it. He's like, stop that noise. I'm like,
I had my friend in high school. We used to call it cake, and it was like fucking cake. She would be like.
why do you call
itching
it
the-
cake?
I don't know why we called it cake.
Did she eat cake?
Maybe because we were like smoking some tons of gonzo.
We had a friend. Well, he wasn't really a friend. We called him Speech, but he was deaf, so that was probably mean. That was probably mean. It was so 84. Listen, no judgment.
I got 84. There was a guy at Plattsburgh. I was exiled to the deep south of the far north, dropped out of 2 colleges in 1 week because I do things big. And he was so hot.
I've been to 4 colleges,
He was
too.
so hot, and I kind of fooled around with him, just
Nice.
kind of. And he was so hot. He had like the Billy Ray, and he wore overalls, sometimes without a shirt. And we called him Illiterate Bill because he was dumb as F. Illiterate Bill.
Weirdest guy, we'll leave his name out, but he used to, it was my friend's older brother. His friends from college, they would come home and he always was hitting on my friend Nancy hard. So we were like living in Long Beach and he was like, oh, I'll just share the bed with Nancy kind of thing. And he was always trying to like get in bed with her and rub his D on her back or whatever. But he barely had a D, so we used to call him Lieutenant Dan or Born on the 4th of July because we said he got it blown off during the war.
I set up one of my girlfriends.
Women are mean too. I don't know why the big
they
boys
are.
are just, and funny.
True. I set up one of my close friends with a guy I used to work with, and he was like Scottish and like 6'4". She calls me up and she said it was like a thumb.
Oh,
wow.
And it was like a thumb, and she goes, she couldn't even get the 2 fingers around, to do his business, so we called him Tom Thumb.
I just last Friday I had a thumb wrestle with Andy Plajanos.
I saw it, and
Did you see that?
I did, and you know how bad I wanted to like make my own. I was just really busy at work. I was gonna like send in a picture with and make an equivalent. But why did he have a mask on his thumb? Or that was a dress?
It wasn't a mask. It was
a finger cot.
No, he made it look like a mask. He made a dress.
No, it wasn't a dress. He made it. He made Mr. T. He had the little mohawk up top and had the facial hair. He had some chains and then just like a
I saw the chains. I pity the fool. They don't like my thumb.
And he posted videos of Mr. T audio and his thumb was just kind of bouncing around.
That Andy.
But
Andy's a gift.
Are we getting comments?
Oh yeah, there's my apologies. I can't get the signal up on there, but yeah, we're getting comments. Quite a few.
All 9 people have a lot to say. Mary Capone might, but she's not up for another 9 minutes.
That's right.
Mary.
Yes.
Is Mary on, or she's not up yet?
I haven't seen Mary in.
I was here Friday, and Mary, and I was with. We was hanging out, and James was like, "Mary, what?" I'm like, "We're coming in with Marla," and James was like, "Mary, why don't you do the podcast?" And I was like, "James, she is not waking up for 11
and she's a big sitcom star now.
I know.
Good for her.
Oh,
Good
absolutely.
for Mary.
Good for her.
So take all of the listeners of this, multiply it by 9, and then divide by 7. I think that's how many people are watching her sitcom in New Jersey. But hey, public access. Good for Mary. Good for Mary.
Hey, you never know, right?
We love Mary.
You got to.
It's going to get picked up. I feel it.
Cool.
Yeah?
I feel it.
I think that's wonderful.
Sponsored by Barilla Pasta.
She's gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Mary is hot at AF.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
For her age.
We love you, Mary. No, but my son came to see Shane Gillis with his friends, and he told me after that his friend Robert was like
grooving on her.
Yeah, he like cranked one out to Mary the next day.
No kidding.
Yeah, he had a crush on Mary.
Wow.
Nice.
She had like a funny mom vibe. Good for Mary having a 19-year-old crank one out.
Carla Okerson is stunning. Carrie Karavis, she's had my heart for 25 years.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot of good-looking ladies. There's some good-looking ladies in the comedy.
Yeah, you know what? We've pushed out the Paula Poundstones.
Who's the other? Why can't I think? Not Melissa. Oh, Michelle Fox.
Michelle Fox.
She's gorgeous.
Never seen her in person.
Sick body.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, never met her. Our paths have
she's-
not crossed yet.
She's the nicest person
Gorge,
going. Yeah.
and she's like a mom with the kids.
No.
and the whole
She
thing.
is. She's got like sick body.
Yeah.
Yep. She's hot. We went to that Ladies of Comedy Association
Yes,
party.
Loca.
Do you remember one of the speakers? She was wearing the suspenders and the bow tie.
Yes.
I was like, no, she is not bringing back the Paula Poundstone.
She was doing
Clown.
the emo Phillips thing vibe,
Yeah.
but she was pretty young. But
So grew out of it, is that what you're saying?
No, she had that. They were like a
Goofy.
like a little sect. So what was kind of cool. So this group is called LOCA, Ladies of Comedy Association. And it really started with women in industry around it. So it was agents and bookers and producers and attorneys. And it was this talent group. And someone's like, why don't we have the talent? So it started in LA. And this lady, Abby, is super
Abby
nice.
Robertson, she's a powerhouse.
So unbelievably gracious and all volunteer. And started it, and it's in Boston and Chicago and New York. I think
Austin, Los Angeles.
I want to say over 300 members already.
I think more
in the New York chapter.
New York,
because they had 125 people and they had to cap it out and like turn people away for. And that was a Saturday before Christmas. But
Sunday.
Peaches came at Sunday. That's right.
Peaches! Oh my God!
And I'm consumed with the fact that Peaches popping rocks and electric boot. I love Peaches.
I gotta say,
she's great.
Peaches, she leaned over and her boobs, or no, excuse me, her titties were in my face. And I went like this. And I squeezed them. I was like, get out of my face. And so
This is like a porn, like
It is.
whole-
And
yeah.
then they scissored in the
You're a
back
pig.
too. And I was like, what?
Anyway,
Marla, she
I
shoots off for you.
love Peaches.
Peaches
I love
is
her.
great.
Yeah.
I haven't done a show with her, but she is.
I like her blonde. I think she's gorgeous.
What was she
too.
before?
Not blonde.
Really?
Yeah,
Her
you're
doesn't
blonde or you're not blonde. I don't know. I mean,
Imagine.
she's gorgeous. I
She was Carrot Top before.
yeah, she was Carrot Top. everybody was like, Peaches, that clashes, you know? Totally.
Peaches has an orange snatch. That would be hilarious. That should
Enough
be that.
with the
That should be her
snatches.
album.
What, Orange Snatch? Orange Snatch crushes. Isn't there Orange Crush? Isn't that a soda?
Orange Crush, it is.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Nuts.
Tony does like when we come in.
I love you guys come in. This
It's
is
all good times.
fantastic.
Going quick. Going quick.
So the whole purpose of this
No purpose.
ladies of comedy, like, is that like a networking thing?
It's
Like,
a networking thing. They're kind of working out the agenda and what to do. Because right now we met once, we met twice, we had the and then some people are like, look, like what are we doing with it? But right now for me, it's helped me out. I've gotten a couple spots.
Oh, okay.
From it, I've met some women in other clubs that can help me out. And then I'm
Really?
going out to.
Are you going to share? I'm like the worst at asking for stuff.
Because you said all that thing that I do. That's how it worked out.
No, she's amazing.
what was that?
That's the network and the
is that what? Oh,
Jews.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
I don't
got
mean
her
Jew. I
zhuzh.
mean like the zhuzh. So,
that was a good segue.
thank you.
Okay.
This section brought to you by Kanye. No, and then
Yee.
I what's it called? I'm going
Networking.
out to L.A. No, Vegas with my gal pals. Not for comedy.
Haven't heard back.
That's
I'm
okay.
still working on it.
And Rick too. But I asked someone, and the lady gave me the name of the booker at Brad Garrett's club. Well, whether it works out or not, but I wouldn't have gotten that but for this group. So
okay.
And I
That's
think as a
fantastic.
collective collaborative, it has the potential. And you know what was kind of interesting, what I thought was interesting? There were women in there with 30 years, and there's women in there with like, hey, I just moved here a week ago, and I do like songs. I mean, there's room for everyone. But we said we really don't meet each other because unless it's like a ladies only show and then people are like, oh, ladies talking, I'm not going. You only, like for mainstream stuff, there's only usually one black guy, one woman. So we don't really get to mingle and meet. So it's pretty.
That actually does bug me when, like you mentioned the show where you guys met. The fact that we have to have this spotlight.
Right,
Like,
it
where
was
it should
breast
just normally be
cancer
mixed.
ladies' room, right? It
Right.
was ladies.
Yeah.
Although Carla and Kathy's show on Friday that I did
Yes.
when that whole Sal Bill, we didn't even talk about that. That was crazy. And Medicated Pete and Eric and
Right.
the Stern fans had their drink on. I mean, it was just a crazy night. But that was. Carla didn't come. I think Steven took over for her, but it was Kathy Arnold, Jen Snortland,
Yeah.
Kristen Danko, who's new, who's really good.
Kristen Danko's good people.
She's a very nice person. I
Yep.
connected. She's awesome.
Oh, that's right, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, you
she's
did.
great. And me and Janice Massetti. So there were 5 women and 3 men on the show, which was kind of an anomaly. But it was a good show.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a
and
great lineup.
Teresa Farrell,
Oh yeah.
who looks great, by the way.
Oh yeah. I haven't
She's
seen her.
blind
in a long time.
also.
She's what?
She's blonde also.
She's blind?
No, blonde.
Oh,
She's going
she's
blonde.
blonde?
Oh, really?
She said she was going blonde.
Because she's a brunette.
Well, she was a brunette, but she said she was going blonde.
Alrighty, she's copying Peaches. I think that's fucking
right.
stealing her idea, her premise. I
She
think.
got the orange snatch too.
The
Yes.
fact that Peaches pop and rocks and I'm so
She was like
enamored
one
with
of
that.
she was one of the. I want to learn how to shuffle dance, but
Shuffle?
Oh, you don't know the shuffle dance? Oh my gosh, you see people and it looks like they're floating. It's like moonwalking to another degree. But this diet, everything hurts.
Shuffle.
Shuffle.
I don't think that's what it's called. Look it up.
No, you look it up.
No. Okay, let me tell you something. Marla can write all the bits she has, but that shit is great, Marla.
Yes.
Teddy and I, everyone thinks we're dating and we're not. But Teddy and I were out with Marla, and Marla did a spot somewhere. Whatever. It was just, Marla's better than the spot. It's really not important. But
a
at the
weird
end,
place.
it doesn't matter. But at the end,
The audience is like they're all millennials.
they're
and they're
all
just like
weird
looking
and whatever. And Marla,
wait.
Oh, go ahead.
That I fucking hate that.
She fucking mic dropped. Ken, you give. I don't even want to step on your line. It was so good. Teddy and I were peeing our pants. It was
You
it
mic
was mine.
dropped?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't drop it, but verbally. So they're not there. And Teddy thought I was doing my corporate set, which I was. So they're not giving me anything. And I said, I go, thanks a lot. You guys are as tight as my pussy used to be.
Boom. That was the best line of the night.
Thank you. Good night.
That is Marla's. You look it up. That's Marla. That's what I like.
I don't like to go there because, I've been doing I do a lot of corporate stuff, but it was like, you know what? These tight ass sphincter, if you say you don't like something, they're like, you can't even have an opinion. They're so hard to play with. Vanessa Hollings said, you know what? Old people that are even conservative, older people, they're so much better than these judgy millennials.
They don't react.
Gen Z.
Were we like that at that age?
No.
Yeah, so I don't think so either.
I think, first of all, I think, anything went. You were like, all right. Maybe, but I would never, yell out at a show, be like, that's offensive. Or, are you kidding me?
That was going on?
Yeah, people. Well, I started the Cellar. I was there Thursday. Casually mentioned I'm at the Cellar as an audience member. But anyway, in a comp seat. But anyway, the
connections.
They were this girl. The guy was doing his set, and the girl's like, "Ooh," and he's like, "What?"
Ugh.
He's like, "Go back to Brooklyn," and she's like, "That's right in front." He's like, "I know."
Oh my God! But you would think Brooklyn people. That's what I love about this club.
Yes,
because Long Island audiences are the best. I'm from Long Island.
Right.
I started in New York, but when you get these audiences and I want to go and bitch slap them. It's the worst. I would never do that. Or
no, Governor's Crowd is great. I did Phoenixville, the Polish Club, great. New Jersey, I did the Comedy Cove is great. So anyone that's
you did the Comedy Cove.
Yeah.
When did you do the Comedy Cove?
BM.
Before
Marla.
Before Marla.
Isn't that Soul Joe? Or no, that's Joe Bubowitz.
I actually did a produced Bob DeBona show where I had to bring 11 people, but that doesn't matter. I can still say
he has all those people. I think
in Jersey, no less.
Yeah,
I had 15 people meet me at Mark Riccadonna's show in Philly.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Speaking of, it was in a burlesque / sex club den.
Where in Philly?
Yeah, it was called the Velvet Whip Speakeasy.
Nice.
Yes.
Wow. Were you guys?
I'm curious. So who's watching?
All right. Let's see. I'll go back. So Jeff Bosey was watching.
He's got a lot to say.
Andy,
I see.
Yeah, Bosey in the beginning was well, like I said, he mentioned Tim Saliani earlier.
He was handsome. And he still is handsome. He's not dead.
I see Mary something or other. Mary.
Well, that's just somebody saying Merry Christmas.
Oh.
Progressives, Marla. Remember Get Glasses, Alice? Remember that Pearl Vision commercial? Get Glasses, Alice.
Andrew Fremder, a loyal watcher and listener. I thought people disappear from Alaska because of the suicide rate.
Nice.
You're talking about Cuchettas. He said he took a Cuchetta this morning. Vortex's insurance is good insurance to have in case you vanish off the face of the planet.
Oh, thank you for that. I will bring that
Brought
up
to you by Bender and Bender.
New York girl is watching. She says hello.
Nice.
This show brought to you by the Gaping Vortex.
You know what? That's what we're going to call your special, the Gaping Vortex.
I was going to call Who's She, the cat's mother, is what I'm leaning on, and I'm going to go with that.
Okay, that works.
Who's she?
I wanted to tell you that story about the former owner of one of the comedy clubs.
Yes.
So we're at this party. Oh, wait.
He had the accent.
Yeah, he had
Mr. Peanut.
Yeah,
yes.
Mr. Peanut, but then the other one that always had this energy, and whenever I've said it, he's had, Filipino women chained to radiators, and he just had a weird energy towards women. So I would come out I would take the train, and I was performing at this club, and he knew I was going back to the city. And there was this guy, Alan Bursky, who was with Freddie Prinze when he offed himself. And he was the youngest comedian ever to be on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. So he goes, Alan will give you a ride back. And I was like, cool. And you feel safe with comedy guys because there's a camaraderie, and you don't think that you're going to be put in a car with a drug addled, psycho. So I get in the car, and he looks at me, and he checks out my chest, and he goes, I got to make a stop up in Harlem. I have an idea. How about I buy you some lingerie and let me snort coke off your boobs?
Wow.
No.
Come on.
Off your titties. So
Now it's
looked at him-
believable.
Yeah, so I look at him and I'm really freaked out because, Harlem back in the 90s, not so safe.
Right.
So I said, oh, yeah, no problem. I like lingerie. If you want to snort it off my titties, fine. But can I pull off that really shitty toupee beforehand? And he goes, where do you live?
I got rid of you. Nice.
Yeah, and I go 80th and West End, and he took me off. So we're back to the party. I thought this guy was dead. You know what I mean?
From all the
'Cause-
cocaine.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Matt
the other guy.
the former owner of a comedy club.
Yeah.
Situated near Rockville Center.
Rhymes with localage, but go ahead.
Yes, localage, right. Or Okalage. And his
Schmokerage.
name was like Larry Tith. So I see him and he gives me that look, and I was so creeped out because I showed up the next week and he's like, "How was your ride?" And he was just such an asshole, and I was not going to go over and say hi. But then also seeing they were a tag team,
Yeah.
Larry
they were-
and
Mr. Peanut.
and Mr. Peanut, and they were just.
You know what happened?
And he wants to get back into comedy, right? Didn't
Yes.
he tell that to you?
Really?
He did. So
Not
Mr.
on Long
Peanut,
Island, he's not.
Mr. Peanut was said, "Didn't I see you at St. Joe's?" And the fact that I was spotted, that he
That's great.
saw me in July and he remembered me. He could have molested me and did coke off my titties. And I still was so flattered that that's only the second time that somebody's like, "Hey, do you do comedy? I've seen you."
Oh, nice.
So
Really?
it
Only
was-
the second time? That's it?
Yeah, because I don't run in a world where people are like, "Hey, I saw you in your kitchen." I don't get.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
You would think.
where would you go running around to be recognized? I would just think you would be because.
I don't know. It just doesn't happen to me. Like people, I'll casually mention Monday I did a spot at Gotham and then the Stand. Thank you very much. And with my friend Marcello Hernandez, who happens to be on Saturday Night Live, who was delicious. But anyway, when we left, we walked out, and Teddy and Marla were. I had a gift of an entourage that night. And Mary came in, and
wow.
Dan LaRocca came in. It was it was really nice. My kid was there, but anyway, my kid. No, but this guy came running up to Teddy. I was like, "Oh my God, I saw you 10 years ago at the Bliss Lounge. Are you Teddy Smith?" It was really nice. And then my husband was like, "That's so and so, Rich with an A." Somebody he knew. My husband knew him from. He listens to Fraction and like Jay and all the guys on Sirius and stuff. So he knew. He's a big like that was very nice.
Yeah.
Teddy gets recognized a lot. He's like, whatever. Yeah, he don't care.
But his Academy nominated movie.
Correct.
Yeah, he's got a movie.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Shout out on Amazon with Greg Snuffleupagus.
Greg Snuffleupagus and Adam Gable and the girl that was on Janice's show.
Kelly Brock.
Kelly LeBrock.
Oh, LeBrock.
Oh,
and,
from the 80s? That
yes,
guy? Really?
Woman in Red.
Well,
Married
yeah, right.
to Steven
Mrs.
Seagal.
Not anymore.
Oh, right.
And Burt Young.
She's married to Burt Young?
Take him to the zoo. The retards love the zoo. From Rocky. Oh, Adrian.
What does Teddy do in this movie? I want to see it.
Teddy is Detective Frank something. Pierce? Teddy's good. Like Teddy's origin story is kind of cool. Teddy's got a good stakeout sign, a stakeout scene, which reminded me a little of the Rosie O'Donnell, Richard Dreyfuss movie Stakeout. How they were like bantering in the.
Do you remember that movie?
I do remember Stakeout. I do. Emilio Estevez.
I bet you Andy does. Yes. I bet you Andy knows it.
Andy who?
Plutano's her boyfriend.
Plutanos.
Oh, okay.
He is a good.
Yeah.
With him, my vocabulary steps up a little.
Yes.
For you two, I'll just leave it.
What, are you bringing it down? I like to think of myself as a word.
Yes.
No. You were above Fat J. If I bring up you big words with Fat J, he's like, "Oh, Laura Patton.
Miss Laura, I don't get those big words, Laura
Miss
Patton.
Laura."
I would hate to be known as like Fat Marla.
But he
that's
wants
his.
it.
Yeah,
Like Fat
does?
Amy.
Fat Amy?
No, Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, he is Fat J. He was Fat J in high school, I guess, and he
Yes,
likes
he's
being
been
known as Fat J.
and that's how he does his stand-up.
Yeah.
What do I say?
Limping
Call me
easy.
Fat J. I don't even know his last name.
I don't know.
Is he fat? Is he
He's
caloric?
not small.
Okay.
He's not small.
He's no Eric Haft. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just leave it at that. That's for all the shit you said about me, Jay. Listen to this on Twitch, motherfucker.
Now,
Jay gave her a hard time last.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The whole
get
time,
banned?
he put him on
No.
the whiteboard. Why the
Yes.
fuck is Laura Patton here? Every time.
Jay must have said it, like once every
50
5
times.
minutes. Yeah.
50 times. The whole time. He's like, I'm going to go back, Miss Laura, and tell you why the fuck is Laura Patton here? That's how he
That's
talks.
funny.
Jay's great.
I want to get more into the Long Island comedy scene.
Really, huh?
Oh yeah. I just saw Carla. She goes, I go, ask me to do a show. She goes, I would never think of asking a comic, people I think want to do it. I was like, I got wheels. 14 speakers. I'm fine. I'll drive anywhere.
So I saw their book. We met. Who'd we meet? Very nice, very funny. He's going to be a brokerage in January. So hopefully brokerage is open. Jason.
JL.
Jason Salmon.
Oh no, I'm thinking somebody else.
And that super nice guy.
Great, funny AF.
Funny AF.
Oh,
as Marla said.
that's what I wanted to say. At the comedy club, at the Loca, we met older and younger, like seasoned and not seasoned. So there are these girls that do unladylike.
Yeah.
So, I'm older. I'm probably their mom's age. And
Or
I went
grandma.
over to her and I was like, oh, I would love to do, because I'm not interested, whatever. So I go over to her and she goes, oh, how long have you been doing it? I go, probably longer than you've been alive. And she goes, okay, well, Carol Montgomery. And I've done Women of a Certain Age. And I said, uh-huh. She goes, well, can you send me a tape? I wanted to smack the shit out of this girl. Not that I'm an egomaniac or I think I'm too, what do you mean I got to send you a tape? People know me, people don't know me. I will send them. But this, for 5 minutes at Stand Up New York,
right.
I was just, that's something that we got to work on with these young, send me a tape. She's not familiar with my work, but you're doing it for 29 years.
She should at least know the name at least and know. Yes, I should.
And if you
get
reference
her
someone,
no matter
like
what.
I had an opportunity with Andy at Gotham. Like it was like the funniest person TV show, and I was supposed to do Newtown, whatever. And then he was like, well, I don't know if I could use you on this thing. And I was like, look, I had people coming in from out of town, which they wound up not coming, but that wasn't important. But I said, look, you can call Kerry Louise or Rick Chrome, and Andy goes, enough said. When you said Carol, enough
Right,
said. Like
right.
if those people are fine with you vouching for you, I trust that. You haven't been doing it for a minute. So that was a very
exactly,
nice
right.
show. Actually, Marla and Teddy came to that, as well as Dan and Mary. But it was the funniest person in real estate, finance, and restaurant industry. So it was a contest, and they were filming it to make like a TV thing. So the show started. It was Troy Bond and this guy Adam. I can't remember. I'm messing up his Adam Major. No, Adam. Do you know who Adam was?
No.
Anyway, and then
I don't know
Elise
anybody.
DeLucci.
And I'm sorry, who?
Elise DeLucci.
Oh, sure. Oh, she's great.
Love
She
her.
is hilarious.
She is actually headlining the Bad Mom show here on January 7th that I wish I could do. I'm being a good mom and driving my son to school, but Allison Persky is producing it. So anyone
okay.
listening, come out and see Elise headlining here
Oh, she's-
before she
yeah.
becomes a big monster, and you'll never see her in Levittown again.
Oh, and she will blow up.
She's going to blow up.
Yep.
I feel it. Like she's just really good, and she's just
Yep.
has figured out the machine. But anyway, it was Troy, Elise, and then they started doing these new people. And then who walks in? Mr. Jim Gaffigan.
Nice.
So I could tell people he opened for me. And then myself and Tom Eshelman closed the show.
Oh, wow.
So it was a
You know
really
That's a good
nice
show.
night.
I know who he is. I
He
don't.
is a comedy 10.
Oh, really?
You said he's got 12 minutes.
And more,
Oh,
but he's
okay.
very handsome.
That he is.
Because in the city, that's all you're banging out. Going
Right.
from Gotham to stand up. He's got, my friends have a crush on him. They all do.
Really?
I did a show on Long Island, and all my friends turned into major chuckle fuckers. It was Ray Ellen, Brian McFadden, and Tom Eshelman.
Love.
Brian McFadden was unbelievably great.
I love
Cleaner than
him.
clean.
Right, yeah.
Funny AF.
So good. He really was good. And we did 2 shows. It was they were great to see.
He's a good egg. We have the same agent for voiceovers, so we were always
okay.
running into each other, and we always got called in for he like these, character. It's amazing that
He's
that
the
whole
Honey Nut
world.
Cheerio, right? Is that him?
He's what?
Isn't he the Honey Nut Cheerio? Is that
Yeah.
him?
I was the seat, Gas X. I don't know if people remember, since you remember, commercials, but I was like, hey, what are you doing? You need some Gas X, because I was the seat chair, and it was for Gas X.
Was that when the toilet bowl talked?
No, it was like the office chair.
Oh.
Yeah.
You weren't, remember that one? Martha, you up?
No.
Aspirin and Sucrets? Sucrets? You don't remember that? Martha, I'm up now, Harold. You don't
That's
know that?
funny.
'Cause she's playing solitaire while he was able to sleep because of his Sucrets.
What's-
What happened to Sucrets?
Yeah,
They're still around.
Are they?
No.
No?
I bet you couldn't get your hands on Sucrets.
Maybe
What's the one with the bear where he's talking to the woman through the window? What's that commercial? Do you still see it?
The bear?
Yeah.
Smoky, like fire prevention?
No.
No?
I can't. But the guy who voices the bear, that's Brian McGinnis. He's a local comedian.
The bear? I don't know that one.
I forget now.
It wasn't.
I don't know my
was
commercials
it
like you do.
Was it it wasn't a paper towel?
Maybe.
I think so. I'll get there.
Yeah.
It'll get it.
Yeah,
My
you might be right about that.
neurons and pistons will start firing up.
Oh no, New York Girl says it's cough medicine.
Oh.
Oh no, it's maybe.
No,
Yeah,
Sucrets is cough medicine.
You're right. Yes, I think you're right.
But what's the bear?
I don't remember. I don't know my commercials like you do.
No, her encyclopedic brain is incredible.
Do you remember Madge? You're soaking in it. Remember
Oh, yeah,
Nancy
of course.
Walker and Palmolive?
And Mr. Whipple.
Yes.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
And also the Time to Make the Donuts.
That was the best. You know what mine is? My favorite. It was like, Anthony, everybody knows spaghetti doesn't
right.
grow on trees.
I remember that.
Wednesday's Prince Spaghetti Day.
Bingo.
There we go. That stuff stays with you.
Well, we can really age ourselves. Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. And he did not die from Pop Rocks and soda.
No, he did not.
He did not.
Urban
die.
legend, just like Bill Cosby never owned the Little Rascals. That
What?
Oh, I remember that
I
one.
thought he bought it and took it off the air.
was urban legend. He never
Really?
owned them. Nope.
That's so funny you used, because I just sent Marla a Little Rascal clip, which you can find on the YouTube.
Yes.
Remember the one with Ismas?
Yes. This must be my lucky
This
day.
must be my lucky day.
You know what? What about Happy Birthday, Mr.
Mr. Hood, happy birthday to you.
We wish you, we baked a cake for you.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Chubsy Wubsy actually reminds me of Fat J Little. Oh, Miss Crabtree.
Did you know?
Miss Laura.
Did you know Waldo lived in Belmore?
No.
Yeah. And Crabtree's the restaurant. That was Miss Crabtree. She owned it.
No.
And you go in there. I don't know if they still do, but I did a show in there years ago, and they had all this Little Rascal stuff.
And you know, Miss Krabappel on Simpson is a homage to Miss Crabtree.
I was accosted by a homeless guy on the subway years ago, and he goes, "Anybody ever tell you look like Darla from Little Rascals?"
But that's
I
a
would
compliment.
see you.
Yeah.
That is, you do look like Darla. You got a Darla like.
In 1991, I met Spanky. I was like meeting Santa Claus, man. I was like, I don't get starstruck, but meeting him, I was like, I even said to him, I was like, I'm meeting Spanky. Like I was an idiot. But I met Spanky.
You know who my crush was? And I was the local Long Island chapter president of the $6 Million Man fan club.
Oh, Lee Majors.
I met him at the Peninsula Hotel.
Really?
In Los Angeles. and
Under
he was
mysterious
sitting there.
circumstances.
Yes.
And he
I
finger
saw
blasted her
him.
in the stacks.
He asked to do coke over titties.
Yes, yes.
And then he finger blasted her in the
He
stacks.
did.
With the bionic finger.
And he heard me, having, climaxing before I even knew I was. Did he have the eye? No, the ear. The ear was Jamie. The bionic
Lindsay
woman.
Wagner had the ear. He had the eye.
He had the
she
eye.
had the ear.
And Oscar Goldman. So anyway,
Right.
I see him, and I was having drinks with Eddie Brill because we both ran into each
Eddie
other.
Brill's playing here on Friday.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Eddie's great.
Eddie Brill was my first comedy show that I saw live. 1988. Eddie Brill came to UMass Amherst, the Student Union Ballroom. Eddie Brill, Richard Jenny,
Oh, wow.
Judy Tenuta, and
That's a nice
and
budget.
not Emo. Who was it? Emo Phillips.
That's quite the show right
Quite
there.
the show, 1988.
Wow. All right, so sorry,
Anyway,
finish.
sorry, as I digress.
Okay. No, Eddie and I mean, we're friends. I've known him forever. And we're having cocktails. And all of a sudden, because we ran into each other at the Improv, and
Casually
there's Lee
mentioned.
Majors. And I go, Eddie, hang on a second. And I was like, Mr. Majors.
Did you run over?
Yeah, hilarious. So I see him, and I was like, oh my God, I was the local president of the $6 million fan club.
Did he say,
on Long
that would be
Island."
Marla Schultz?
No, I wish. And he's like, oh, nice to meet you. And I just sat there like, oh my God, he was so handsome.
Really?
He was still really
I don't think he was
handsome.
that tall, though.
I don't know. He was sitting down, but he was like, broad build. And I just wanted to talk to him. And, he did this. And I was like, oh, okay, gotta go.
I
was
confused
so
him with Robert
excited.
Conrad. So that's where our slight age difference. That was more of a like one Adam 12. One of like those shows were not my
An
thing.
emergency.
I was more.
Who was Robert Conrad age difference?
No, Robert Conrad was
he was that?
Robert Conrad and Lee Majors. Robert Conrad had the show. What was his show?
It was like an Army or Navy thing, wasn't it?
Not the Rockford Files, because I did think James Garner was cute. But no, there's
Okay, I didn't even watch that because that was too old for me.
although Quincy, I had a thing for Jack Klugman. But anyway,
wow.
I'm jumping ahead.
Speaking of commercials, Robert Conrad had the battery commercial.
The battery.
Knock it off
Was
my
it?
shoulder.
I did.
Go ahead. I did.
No, but so I was more of a Sean Cassidy, Andy Gibb.
So was I.
Girl. Okay.
How deep is your love?
He did cocaine off somebody's tits.
Yeah. He
And then
did.
Victoria
And then he
Principal.
died.
Yes, and then he died.
Yeah.
That was too bad. He was really good. And also the Bee Gees. I love the Bee
Love the
Gees.
Bee Gees.
Saturday night.
I
Live.
went to a Bee Gees show.
Did you?
I did. So 1990. Who were the afternoon guys that used to do the radio? The big guy.
The Turtles.
PLJ. No, PLJ.
Oh, Scott Shannon?
No, it was the
Mark
after
something or
The
other?
one they would do. I'm trying to answer your mother. They would anyway. It'll come to me. Not Scott and Todd. Anyway, they were real. It was a very, very heavy guy. He was like for radio. One of those guys that when you saw him, you're like, whoa, you're
A face for radio.
He had a face for radio. And so this one guy called. He's like, hey, I got tickets to Jersey Performing Arts Center, whatever it was called at the time.
Jersey Mike's.
No. And he goes, I got tickets for the Bee Gees. I just moved to New York and I don't know anyone. And he's like, ladies, why don't you call up? And I wound up doing like a dating game thing. He was a Hilti salesman. He sold tools, picked me up at work. I ran his plate. I told my friends, look, if I go missing, because it was the 90s.
Plate.
And I had cousins, not for nothing, just make sure I'm okay. And we went to Ground Round for dinner.
I was a clown there.
I didn't like that place because they would fat shame you that you would get paid. Your meal would be as much as you weighed. Do you remember that?
No.
There was a scale for kids. That's how much. Like if you were 81 pounds, your meal would be 81 cents. You don't remember that?
No.
And they had the popcorn. Anyway, so in New Jersey, women didn't get weighed. But anyway, that was for kids. So we went to Ground Round, and then I saw the Bee Gees before Robin, and then Maurice subsequently died. It was like one of their last U.S. shows.
They died in the 90s?
Well, a little later.
Morris died in 2003. I remember that.
It was one of their few Long Island, like New York tries, because then they were doing other stuff. They were like fighting. Then they did that big one night only thing. PBS, it was running, but it was a big deal. And then the guy drove me back to Penn Station.
Wow.
And you didn't go missing?
That was brave.
I didn't.
That was really brave.
We might have went to second base
Ran
waiting
his
for my
plates.
train, but I felt obligated.
He finger blasted you.
Maybe.
Nice.
I hate that term too.
Finger blast?
Finger blast?
I do.
What else do you hate?
I want to know what you prefer instead of finger blast.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Digital stimulation of my clitoris.
I wouldn't say that either.
So what do you say, Marla?
Dry humping.
That's not finger blasting.
Well,
so that's another thing too. We have to get to the bases. So the bases have
I
taken
never with strangers because I'm such a germaphobe, and I wouldn't know if they wash their hands. So I was.
Well, this was pre-COVID,
pre-everything,
pre-syphilis.
Yes, and chlamydia
and HPV.
Ugh.
Those are the days.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think of these kids that are going out and trying to have a good time, and I just remember the 90s as like Sex in the City.
But they're not going out. They're weird. They're sitting home.
Ew.
And
I was
drinks,
out. Oh my God.
Drinks are like $13 a clip.
back then or
No,
now?
they're like
Yeah.
expensive. So they
20,
pre-game.
$16.
I know, like Long
Yeah, but
Island.
they're making a shit ton of money. These kids in social media influencers and
Right.
these
YouTube
no
showing their
talent.
ass.
God, you know what? God bless them for having the inclination and the wherewithal to parlay no talent into millions of dollars.
No, good for them. But they also have a lot of things to bolster. Did you have any friends that were like movie star? These young kids now, they know how to lighting, makeup. We didn't have that.
Well, we weren't making video. We didn't have a YouTube back then.
You know what? It's so funny. I put up like old I don't have that many old pictures because you had to wait and the photo mat and then the Polaroid and then you lick in the 10 clicks, the one that slide. And my friend's son says, "Mom, why were the 80s so blurry?" I was like,
We walked around like that.
Oh my God!
because that's the picture.
So
That's what
funny.
he was using.
Yeah.
Like,
They were dark and sepia toned.
yeah.
You can never get the lighting, even if it was like blinding sun.
Right. And you were never like, "Oh, let me fix the lighting," because I didn't know till I picked it up at like
Remember
rock bottom.
Photo mat? I can't.
Where
even
were you
talk.
peeing in a
The
photo
little-
mat?
What?
Where were you going to pee in a photo mat?
You know what? That's a really good.
Never
I
thought of
know.
that. Yeah.
Let's check if there's a Reddit thread for that.
I hate
Put Andy
Reddit.
on that.
I hate Reddit.
Put Andy on that. Andy, where did people pee if they worked at the photo mat?
The honey cough medicine was the bear.
honey?
And he says, "Can I route through your garbage?" That's what he says at the end of the commercial.
Really? I don't know that one.
Oh, yeah, you'd know it if
I
you
don't
saw it, I think.
remember.
All right, now I wanted to ask you, I want to know what this Quebec story was all about with the weed and the cop and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh! So we go to Quebec, Old City. I just bought a pair of boots. I'm walking down the cobblestone streets, and all of a sudden, a cop car, like Adam 12, was that the
One Adam
the old
12, one Adam
reference?
12.
I don't even remember that show. Wait,
you
was that
know.
Randolph Mantooth?
No, that was Emergency.
That was emergency. Okay.
One Adam 12, one Adam 12.
You don't remember Adam 12?
I kind of. I wasn't into it. I was into Emergency. I was really into Randolph Mantooth. So
That's a good name.
That is a really good name, Mantooth. It's like Snaggletooth. So I'm walking down the cobblestone street, and all of a sudden, this
could finger
cop
blast
car
you in your
pulls
Mantooth.
over, and they're like, "Je ne pas, je bidip," like speaking to me.
That's
in French.
Marla's French.
And then I said, I'm English. I don't speak, I'm American. I don't speak French, just English. And they're like, "Je ne pas, je bidip," and they're just talking to me, like grilling me. And I said, I bought these boots. I have the receipt. Does somebody look like me do something bad?
Maybe Monica was in town.
Maybe.
Exactly. So they're just going on, and there's this crowd forming, and I'm standing there, and I was like, what are we doing? And then
That's
finally
the universal
I said,
language.
Exactly, this. Like, what is this? So I go, am I free to go? Am I under arrest? And they're like, oui. And then they take off. So then there's this crowd of these judgmental Quebecians. I'm telling you, the French Canadians
Are they
really
Quebecians?
weird. Quebecians, whatever. They're
None of them stepped up to tell you what the cops were saying?
no, they just sat there looking at me like I was Hester Prynne and they were going to stone me, and put me in
That was for
one of
Andy,
these
the
things.
Scarlet Letter reference.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Not
you.
for Fat J.
Yes.
It's
It
a
was
book, Miss
bizarre.
Laura.
It was really bizarre. And then I missed that.
She's making fun of Jay. That's all.
all
Okay.
right. Miss
Then
Laura, it's
I
a
had
book.
my dog with us, and we, she's an ESA dog. So we walk into a restaurant. and-
ESL, it's a foreign dog.
Yeah. English as a second language. Je ne pas, woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof.
It barks in French.
Yeah, barks in French. Wee. I have to go wee. My dog does ring a bell when she's got to go out.
Really?
No. She's smart AF. So we go into this restaurant, and we stayed at the sister hotel the previous night, and we had no problem. So we walk in, and this woman's like, "You have a dog?" And I said, "Yes, we have a dog."
That's
and I
Marla's
said,
French.
"This is an ESA, emotional support dog." And she goes, "But I only see big dogs." And I said, "Well, that's because they're blind. When you have anxiety and depression, they give you little dogs." So she's like, "Oh," and I show her the card, and we walk in. She's tiny. We walk into the restaurant. The whole restaurant stops talking. It was like a room full of deaf people. And we sit down. So then this bitch comes over. She was like mean girl, thinking she could bully me. And she comes over. She's like, I need to take a picture of your certificate. And I go, no. And she goes, I said I need to take a picture of your And I said,
That's Marla's
this
French.
is my emotion. I go,
Montreal.
she's my ESA, my emotional support dog. I go, look, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and you are triggering, which I'm not. You are triggering my anxiety. But she starts like leaning
Nothing
in.
better than shitting on the domestic violence
So
community.
She starts leaning in, and she's getting really aggressive. And so I stand up and I said, you better back off. Like I go like this for Long Island, which I really love doing, and I don't like. So I go, you are harassing me. You better step back, walk away, leave me alone.
Nice.
Otherwise, we're leaving. And she goes, I go, we just stayed at the sister property. Well, that different management. And I go, you know what, Mark, let's go. And plus he was a little baked. So we get up.
The dog or your husband?
My husband.
Oh.
So we start walking out, and the waiter comes running over. I mean, the cook. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We don't want any problems. This is a different country." I go, "Thank you so much for clarifying that."
Right.
And I said she was very aggressive. "Oh no, it's a language barrier, blah blah blah." And I said, "No, it isn't." She was getting in my face. Anyway, please sit down, sit down. So I go, "Look, I'll have her sit on my jacket," and then she brings me a napkin. I go, "All right, if you want me to dirty a napkin." So I put the napkin down. We're having meals. Waiters are coming over. They're laughing. We gave a great tip. As we're walking out, I see that bitch like looking at me. So I stop and I go,
Nice. I see you.
and then I do this.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do this.
That's the international sign for go fuck yourself.
And I blow a kiss to her, and we walk out, and it
See,
was.
Marla's badass.
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't mess with me. I
I
come
didn't
off
know
with
that.
nice.
Yeah, I had
That's what
no
I like.
idea.
That's why I dig her.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
in my face. But it was like, I love being from Long Island because you stand up and you're like this, look, and then you cross, and then this.
I'm
That was
scared, but a
really
little
fun.
turned on at the same time.
It's hot. Me
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I think my pants are damp.
Moist.
Or moist. No, like
And you didn't even have to finger blast yourself.
I did, or maybe I grinded on the chair. No. So
Andy
the
will
shortest
sit there
version, I
tomorrow.
was at a football game in Notre Dame. Whatever. Anybody, this lady was giving my sister a hard time or whatever. Blah 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 blah. And at the end, I said to her, I go, "You got till halftime because my kids are here.
Nice.
Don't come back."
Nice.
I go, "We're gonna shut this down, and you're not
Nice.
gonna come back." And she didn't come back.
Shut this
Just
down.
a little. We're gonna shut this down.
Fabulous.
I don't gotta say it, but it ain't gonna be pretty.
Love it.
Because I could throw you down the steps now, but I'm gonna wait because I paid a lot for these tickets.
Nice. That's hot.
Just a little, like.
When I do that, though, in my head, like one time I had an argument with a neighbor of mine. His kid was bugging my kid, and it was I have an autistic daughter, and this guy's kid was teasing my autistic daughter, so I was pissed.
I'll
But
fuck
this
him
guy was, I mean, like Tim Saliani big. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy was big and rumored to be, connected and whatnot. And so I went to go talk to him. I'm trying to talk to him nice.
Yeah.
And he's denying the whole thing even happened. I was like, it
You
happened.
can't speak for your kid. I hate that.
Right. And so we're kind of at odds, and he kind of leaned, like he gets close to me, and he's in my face. He's like, "What, are you going to make trouble for me?" And I looked right at him, and I go, "What are you going to get, old Tony Soprano on me?"
Nice.
But in my head, I'm like, "Holy shit, what the hell's the matter with you?" But I'm keeping it, like you're
gotta
doing.
lean in.
Yeah, I
You
did. I
gotta
leaned
lean
in,
in.
and
You
I even
have
kind
to.
of did one of these, and I'm looking at him, because he's like 8 feet tall. I'm doing one of these. But in my head, I'm like, "I'm going to die. Holy shit, I'm going to die." But
You had to lean in. 'Cause
Yeah,
You can't
oh,
step
yeah.
back and like, oh, no disrespect. No, you got to be like,
Because when a bully does that, you got to get back in their face.
And
Absolutely.
sometimes they back off because they don't know the second. They don't know what comes next. Because a lot
Right.
of times
Right,
people don't.
right.
And I'm like, don't write a check you can't cash. Miss Laura.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I
Don't
gotta-
write a check you
Yeah,
can't cash.
I got to remember that. That's a good line.
You know what my husband says? Because he's like, stop with the road rage, flipping people off, blah, 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 blah. And my husband is like 5'7", and he's a lawyer. And he goes, look, Marla, he goes, look, I can defend you, in a court of law, but not on the streets in New
Nice.
York City. And I was like, I got that covered. But he's like, you know, you never know who you're dealing with.
Right.
And when I was in North Carolina, my mother was like, you know, she was terrified because it's an open carry state and people have been shot during road rage.
yeah, sure.
And these drivers, all of a sudden, you're like the only one on 540 because I would go out and do spots and stuff, and you know they all go to bed at like 9:30.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you're the only one on a 3-lane highway, and then this car is like boof and just appears out of nowhere, and they're tailing you, and then you move over, and then they tail, and you don't know if they're playing the game of chicken, and it was kind of scary. And she's like, you know, call me when you leave, and just don't, because these people, they're, you know, you got shot, and it's a little scary.
Wow.
I back away from some, but if someone like in a situation like where I'm like, listen, if we're gonna go verbal battle, you're gonna lose.
Yeah. Oh,
I was
no.
like, look, you're playing checkers and I'm playing chess, and
Nice.
you're going home. You're going home.
Not Bokino.
No.
Remember that game?
You're playing Mancala. You're playing Connect 4 and I'm playing Othello. We should bring that. Remember
Mahjong.
Mahjong. I don't know.
That's
Mahjong's
tough.
too much to know because you need the card, the book. Every time we play Mahjong, I get thrown out of the room. They're like, you talk too much. Get out of here. My sister and them, she goes to the temple with
Really?
the sisterhood, the Masada,
Is your sister
Hasada.
Jewish?
My sister's Jewish. Yes, we have different parents.
Okay.
She's not, but she just plays Mahjong.
Because she's, you know what, let
She
me
plays
tell
a
you,
Jew
you
on
know what I
TV.
say? You know what I tell everybody? You shake your family tree. I'm telling you, a Jew's going to fall out.
Oh, that happened to me.
I got some
That happened to me.
Ashkenazi, but I
Yes.
do have more West African.
You know what? I always picked up a black vibe from you.
You definitely. That's what Teddy says. I do my comedy like. So that's why I'm wearing today this
Comedy mom, cute.
This sweatshirt brought to you by my son. Gave it to me last year for the son that drives me nuts. But he was very he had this made.
It's awesome.
It's a nice font and everything. So I was gonna lean in as comedy mom, but I don't just want to be mom.
Right.
And I didn't want to be people like, you like the female Maniscalco, but I just didn't want to be Italian because I could show up Latin, I could show up Egyptian, I could show up Sephardic.
Black,
Latin.
Jewish,
exactly. Teddy sometimes he's like, Italian women are like black women trapped in a white lady's body. Because we both cook greens, we both like to get all dolled up, and we both get our hair did. Here's the thing, like black women and Italian women, like it's a thin line between.
I have so much respect for black chicks because no matter what size, whatever, they really turn
Bring
it
it.
out. Yeah, I have, and they don't take crap. I mean,
and they're fun.
And I love playing black rooms. When I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, I was driving to like Clayton and all these places, and people were, and they were like, how does a Jewish girl, Long Island girls material go over? And I said, family is family.
Yeah.
And they appreciate it. And I was always given props because I have so much respect. Plus, I was also going to a gospel church. I was looking for any kind of comfort. And I would show up, and I went to this one. It was the Leesville Baptist Church in Durham. And I went a bunch of times. And, you know, Jesus loves you. And I was like doing this. And the pastor was like, Jesus loves you too, Miss Marla, because they knew me. And I was crying and everything. And like the fourth time I went, the pastor Thomas said to me, he goes, Sister Marla, are you ready to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? And I
Did
said,
you steal this from the Blues Brothers? Is that what's going on here? Right? Remember the scene?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I was just joking.
Uh-uh.
She shot
No,
me
I
along.
don't.
Oh, my
no.
goodness.
I was like, And I said, Pastor Thomas, thank you so much. I go, I have ADD and I'm working on my impulse control. So can we take this like, one step at a time?
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of Jesus around there. It was really nice.
Yeah, no, it's funny. So my neighbor, we just found an article from like 1985 how Elmont changed and black. So when I started elementary school, I think there was Mildred and Sonia, and then Alvin came. Like literally, that was it. And by the time we graduated, it was like 30%. But it didn't matter. I mean, they were just great. And I just grew up in a mixed neighborhood, and my dad worked for this. Like we did not come up with any airs of like, just the way it doesn't like rat. I have zero problem. And like we just were in Philly checking into a hotel. My friends were like, "Why do you talk black at the front?" I go, "I don't know. I like assimilate. Like when I'm in the South, I'm like, what you doing? How you doing?" And,
Take some grits.
yeah, I was like, "Khadijah, you gonna hold my bag?"
I was in a friend of mine had a procedure done in Princeton. So I went down to get her. I walk
Gender
into
reassignment surgery.
Yes. Chicks with dicks. Anyway,
that was the thumb.
Tripod. Anyway, so I go in and there's all these yummy boppers, like Orthodox Jews, all these young kids.
Marla can say that. I did not say that. Marla has
Yummy
a different permissions.
But it was the summer of 2020 or 20, I think it was 2021, before the vaccine, and you're supposed to be masked. And it's unfortunate that, the Hasidim, they ruin it for all the Jews, because when people think of Jews, they think of, those
right,
people.
Yes.
Those people.
And I hate making fun of them. So I walk in and there's all these yummy boppers running around from like 18
Marla
to 23.
is allowed
all guys,
to say this.
no masks.
Wow.
And I walk in and I said to the front desk, there was a Hispanic chick and a black guy. And I go, what's going on? She goes, I'm so sorry. We've asked them several times to put masks on. I go, look, you're Hispanic, you're black. I'm a Jewish woman. Do you want me to handle this?
Nice.
150 young boys. And so my friend is upstairs, ice packs on her face. I go, I'll be right back. I dropped off my bag. She goes, where are you going? I go, there's a situation downstairs.
Nice, you fixed it.
That I need to take care of. So I walk into a room. I'm wearing shorts and a shirt. Now, you're supposed to be all covered up like you're a Muslim woman, and the fake hair. So I walk in and I go, gentlemen, may I have your attention? And then nothing. I said, gentlemen, may I have your attention? I go, I am a Jewish woman. I live in a secular world. And I said, all of you are being so disrespectful, and you are ignoring one of the 10 commandments, which is do unto others as others do unto you. Nice. And I said, you fucking bastards, you're not wearing masks. You're spreading your germs. How dare you? And I said, you know what? You're giving Jews a bad name. And if you want to live
It's a Bon Jovi song.
Yeah.
Bad.
You
giving
give Jews a bad name.
So funny. So I
Straight
said,
to the heart,
Yes.
and Jews to blame.
But I go, you're making it hard for us, and they're not going to call the cops because it's going to turn into an anti-Semitic. So I am doing you a favor. And I said, and because you people are running around, you've cost me 7 months with my mother, who's got cancer. So all of a sudden I hear, I'm sorry about
Oh my God, that is Jewish doing.
Yes.
That is Marla, not
I'm
Laura.
sorry about
that is
your
Marla.
mother. And I said, thank you. And I hear this kid goes, well, I don't have a mask. And I said, you take your fat ass, you walk up to the front desk, and they will give you a mask. Come down the next day, they're all wearing masks.
Wow.
I felt really good. And
That's
my
like
friend-
Moses splitting the
Fuck yeah.
Red Sea.
Okay, it's 12:42. Are we
Yeah.
going overtime?
Yeah, we did overtime, but that's fine because we were talking. It was a great
we'll
time. All
wrap
right,
it
so do you want to push anything?
What are you plugging?
Yeah, plug anything?
I am. I got a couple of private gigs, but I'm going out to Canyon Ranch, Tucson, and doing 2 shows for New Year's Eve. So I'm
That's
excited
great.
about that.
I'd like to push the Bad Mom Show, even though I'm not on it. We're helping Allison Persky, who's producing it, Elise
Nice.
Delucci. That's January 7th here in the Giggle Room. I think I'm back here with Batera in February.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going out with John for like 3 days in New England. Then I got a couple
nice.
things here and there. You know, I'm on the scene. You know how it goes.
Laura Patton comedy on everywhere?
Laura Patton comedy. I think I might be sunsetting that
Me
come
too.
12/31.
I don't like Marla Schultz comedy. It's so like.
I think I'm going to go to my maiden name. I think I'm going to go to Laura Nicotra.
Laura Nicotra.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then work and my kids and stuff. Like if I'm like, oh, my kid's a dick, like his mom can be like, well, I mean, they'll figure it out. But they're
then
like,
you
your
can,
mom.
Then you can like do like Sebastian and Rodia and target that Italian
I
audience.
could do a little, but the Italians are very good to the men, but they don't love the ladies so much. They're like,
Really?
oh, yeah, they're not so supportive to
I
the
did not know
Italian
that.
ladies. They'll come out for the men. Like I wouldn't get the same.
Oh, that's
They're all right. They're like,
that's wrong.
You know what? You remind me of my sister with her fat mouth the way you talk. That's what it's not so funny when it's from abroad.
You know, I played a room long time ago in Howard Beach, and I remember. I mean, I was chunkier, and the MC or the owner goes, "Look, it's time for you to get your big kosher body up on stage." And I grew up with
My
Italians,
goodness.
and people think I'm Italian
Yeah.
because I talk, but everyone's like, Marla Schultz, it's so Jewish. And I go, Schultz is like white trash, the Smith of Germans. So, put that in
We
your pipe and
did
smoke
we
it.
had gone with Teddy to the roast of Vincent Pastore, Big Pussy or whatever. Marla and I'm not Marla, Mary and I went out to Atlantic City. Well, there's so many stories in that. But anyway, Teddy was like, look, they'll go on the panel. So Mary and I went up, and the guy was like, he was at the roast, and he goes, all right, coming to the stage, Mary Capone, very funny. Tony Darrow, right?
Oh, sure.
So she goes, and then he was like, coming to the stage. He goes, oh, I can't have two lady comics back to back. I was like, no disrespect, you can't. Let me clean your palate with a gentleman. Like, it was so weird.
It's still old school, but hey, listen, I'm open. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff. I don't even remember where I am at,
All right.
but I got stuff.
We got stuff, and Marla and I are working on, we're trying to, not that this isn't the right way, but we're looking to put together a podcast about our...
I've been thinking about this the whole time. All the banter back and forth. This is...
Yeah.
It should definitely be something.
There's something
No,
there.
it
And I know the
is-
right
it is
place you can do
Special
it.
gal, that Marla.
Absolutely.
So is
That
Laura.
Marla Schultz.
I want to know who, referred to me as a celebrity crush. That really made my day.
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay,
Fat
goodbye.
Jay.
Bye, everybody.
Miss Marla, I'd like to finger blast you in the stacks.
Oh, stop.
Make you damp.
Ugh, no, it's
Make it
moist, you
moist.
pigs.
Blow the towel, everyone. 111.
All right, we'll... What's
Marla
today?
Schultz
Thursday.
comedy.
We will.
Laura
Yep,
Patton
Marla
comedy.
Schultz comedy.
I go last.
Laura Patton comedy. We will see you guys tomorrow. Andy will be here tomorrow.
Oh.
Don Sill will be here tomorrow. I think Bosie's coming in. Joey Petroni's coming in.
Wow.
And Andrew
Bosie.
Fremder. They're
Is
going to
that
play guitar.
Jeff Bossing.
Jeff
yeah.
Bosie. Yeah,
Oh,
he'll be.
because I remember Bosie's was where the,
Yeah, the deaf kids in school were like, I'm done with Miss Marla. I
No.
can't go in the hallway.
the tards.
Well, yeah,
know.
you called him Bossy before, but
Yeah.
like the hockey
I
player.
like him. He's
Je-
a good guy.
Jeff's a
But
good
you know,
guy,
in
yeah.
Bosie's, just as I digress, back in 1978, they always won field day because they ran fast. So maybe they couldn't hear, but those motherfuckers could run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what's the correlation there?
I don't know. It's like when someone gets rid of your one.
You lose a sense, and
Yeah.
the other
Right,
ones
right.
become
They
more
were
powerful.
pre-Special Olympics. They were fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's just my Bosie's Elmont Bosie's
Ask
reference.
Joey Cole about that once. They were doing a show here, and the comics. Keegan was in it. Joey Cole. I forget who else, but they didn't know going out that half the audience was deaf.
Oh.
So they had an interpreter, but they would tell a joke. You get half.
You had to wait.
Half the audience was laughing, but then all of a sudden,
And then they
like
clap
a minute,
like, this is the clap.
right? Half a minute later, though, this side would start laughing, so it threw their timing off, and then Joey was teasing the interpreter, and they started dancing. Yeah, it was.
Hilarious.
One lady
something.
asked me
I love him.
actually to do a show, to do a special show here. One of the moms in town, her and her husband are deaf, and her kids are hearing, and going through school, they were always. And my ADD, I would always wind up fucking sitting next to them, and then silent. I'm like, oh, I can't pay attention.
Can I tell one thing?
No.
Yeah,
One thing?
absolutely.
Because we have so much in common. I had to go to a funeral, okay? And her
Yes,
friend
it's
was
funny
in
story.
from Alaska. And I was like, Alaska? I go, oh my God, one of my close friends was Miss Anchorage. And she goes, Iris Nakamura? And I was like, yeah. So I put the two of them in contact. So the next day, I'm sitting in this funeral, and on my watch, up pops a picture of Laura, Mary Capone, and my Aunt Barbara.
So I had a Sisterhood of the Hadassah Temple. Hadassah. Hezbollah. The ambulance. No, it was a private gig Mary and I did at this restaurant in Hewlett. And we walk in, and Mary's such a good sport with the MS carrying the speaker and the mic and everything.
Right.
And we walk in, they're like, oh, the comedians are here. It was like 50 women in a room. And some lady goes, I'm Mike Birbiglia's mother-in-law. And this lady comes walking through. She goes, I'm Marla Schultz's aunt.
Wow.
And I was like, what? I go, I have a crush on your niece. And she was Aunt Barb, and we spent the night together, and now we're going to go visit Aunt Barb.
And then she calls me and she goes, I want to be Laura's friend. And
So now we're going to fight over Aunt Barb.
Yeah, she's my mother's sister. She's
Hang on, I'm
awesome.
picking my teeth.
On air? Do it under the table.
It was
But
fucking
do this.
organic honey.
Do this. What, Manushka?
That's what you look like, how you finger blast, how you just did, like you were like,
Oh my God.
Ew.
It's so gross.
It's time to go.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Whatever the camera is, I don't even know what it is. Hello.
Give me a second. We're just about. Where my
Goodbye.
Yeah, there we go.
Merry
Okay.
Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay safe, everybody.
Yes,
Governance
absolutely.
Comedy for all your comedy needs.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.